building a website's supposed to be easy, right? You set up the website, you launch it, you drive traffic to it, you advertise on it, you make money. Yeah, that's not been my experience. I have had so many frustrations trying to build out my website and get it exactly how I want it. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about those frustrations and issues I've had with getting approved by Google AdSense and kind of a bad Upwork hire trying to help me do that. So, like I've talked about before, building this website, I'm kind of getting it to how I want it to look, but the next step is getting approved by Google AdSense. I want to get Google AdSense onto my website so that I can be making some money off my content. I'm writing articles, I'm attaching links, I'm, driving traffic to my website, and I can do more of it through my newsletter. And so I want to have ads up there for when I start really going all in on trying to drive traffic to my website. So got the website set up, was liking the way it looked. I was like, okay, let's get approved. So I applied, I had Google check out my site, and I was having content issues. AdSense literally came back to me and said that there were policy issues with my website, and I don't know exactly what that meant. So my thing was, I tried to look into it a little bit, and I was like, I am probably better off just trying to find someone that can help me get approved for AdSense. But I will say, with the feedback AdSense gave me, it was mainly a content thing. Like, they were telling me that I had low value content and I wasn't meeting requirements for approval. I wasn't meeting quality guidelines. I didn't reach the minimum content requirements. That's the feedback. But I didn't know, was it every one of those or was it just one of those? And I didn't know exactly what was going on. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go on to Upwork, find someone who specializes in Google AdSense and getting websites approved for Google AdSense, and I'm going to try to get them to help me speed up the process. So went on Upwork, reached out to a couple of people, found a couple of people, and decided to start working with this one guy. Now, this was a major lesson learned for me. I did not do a good enough job vetting this guy to understand what he was going to be doing, what needed to be done to get approval, to get website approval for Google AdSense. When I first got with this guy, he took a look at my site and he's like, yeah, you get approved, no problem. And he kind of laid out what needed to be done, gave me a price, and I was like, okay, it kind of works. So I was like, let's move forward. And the big things was he was going to be doing some website customization. So he's going to be changing the format and the look of the website to, optimize it for Google AdSense approval. He was going to be creating important pages for the site so that Google AdSense would see that and be more willing to approve. And then the content, he wanted to write 25 articles for me to put onto my site so that I had more content and would help me get approved. So right off the bat, I really, the whole thing with him writing articles to put on my website, I really wasn't liking that. But the whole time he was telling me, oh, once you get approved, you can take all this down, you can make changes. We just need to put this on to get approved. And I was like, okay, fine. But as we're going along the process, he was changing a lot of things about the website and kind of making it worse in a lot of ways. He would do something, he would write some code, he would give me, something to deploy to my website. And what I would do is, because I'm not technical, I'm not into all the technical jargon, I didn't know how to build out the site, I got help with that. And I would give the stuff he would give me, and I would give it to my web developer guy. And my web developer was getting extremely frustrated because all this code and all these stuff that this AdSense approval guy was giving me to put onto my website was, as my web developer put it, kind of crappy. And it was making the website worse. Essentially, my AdSense guy was trying to come onto this software project that me and my web developer were doing for my website, this simpleamericannews.com. And he was making a lot of things work. He was making a lot of adjustments. A lot of the code wasn't working right. It wasn't running right because he was just not really doing a good job with it. He was doing the bare minimums. Here's what you got to do to get approved. But he wasn't meeting the quality standards that my web development guys liked. Finally, we were having issues deploying some of the code that he wanted. We had issues on the front end and the back end. And eventually my web developer guy just got really frustrated. And I got frustrated and I'm like, okay, this is just ridiculous. So essentially, I parted ways with the Google AdSense guy. I just, I didn't really know how to come out and say it because I just wanted to stop working with him. And I probably didn't handle it the best way, but essentially I just said, look, this is taking way longer than I thought it would. It's way more work on my end. I just don't have the time to do it right now. Like, we need to pause, which is what happened, right? Like, I mean, it is true. I hired this guy to help me do it without me. And I was spending hours and hours trying to message between him and my web developer, give my web developer, files to, deploy onto my website and pages to hook up and all this stuff to do. It was just more work for me, frankly. So it just was not a good fit. And, I really didn't do enough due diligence with the AdSense guy to let him know what our website was built off of, what exactly needs to be done. Here's where I'm not looking to go, and kind of all that stuff in between. Again, like I said, I'm not a really technical guy, but I really dropped the ball with knowing exactly what this process was going to look like. So what I'm going to do now is, because I think the approval for AdSense is a content issue on my end. And by content issue, I mean like my posts aren't long enough. I don't have enough content on there. Not enough differentiating content. So what I did was, over the last week or so, I have been posting a lot to my website. I've been making, the articles much longer. I've been writing a couple like blog posts that I've written personally, doing a lot more like news curating in long form to kind of get the content up to par for what I think I need to get approval on. So once I get that done, I'm going to be going back to my web guy. I'm going to be readjusting the website to make it go back to looking the way I want it to look with all the new content. And I'm going to reapply to Google AdSense to see if I can get approved. That's my situation. Obviously, like I've said, the website building has been extremely frustrating for me. I'm very lucky because I talked a lot about Upwork and outsourcing work. I have a great web developer who knows a lot about what he's doing. He is incredibly smart. He can do anything I ask him to do in terms of building out the website. And so I trust him. And so when he's telling me that this other guy was giving me crap code and was kind of making the website worse and was setting us back a little bit, it just wasn't worth it to go through the entire process to get approved for AdSense and then have to change everything back. I figured I would take a step back, readjust the content on the website, trying to get approved, and then go from there. So lesson here, make sure you really vet people, you ask a lot of questions, and you're incredibly clear on what needs to be done if you're going to hire someone on Upwork, or Fiverr, or outsource it on any other platform. That would be the main thing. But I've been having a lot of issues. I really want to get this site up and going so that I'm set with it. I'm going to try this, and I will keep you guys updated with if I can get approval from AdSense. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. If anyone has any advice to help me out here, give me some tips to help me get approved, or, if anyone knows anyone that could really help audit my website to make things easier for me to get approved, that'd be incredibly helpful. Thank you guys for watching this one, and we'll see you next time with an update.